Hello there, everybody. Welcome to New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting my channel. And I see we already have some people commenting, so thank you for being here. So on the live today, we have Glitter World. So Shirley from Glitter World. And we also have in the house today BC Treasure Trails. So thank you for being here too. Thank you everyone for being here and supporting this channel. Don't forget to check them out as they get their shout outs for coming in the chat. And we're going to start today with this theme. All about Cyprus. And today we're talking about the Stavrovouni Monastery, which is Mountain of the Holy Cross. and it sits atop a steep 750-metre peak that was once called Olympus in ancient times, and where a temple to Aphrodite stood. The monastery dates back to 327, when legend tells us the ship carrying St. Helena, mother of Constantine the Great, home from Jerusalem with the true cross and the cross of the penitent thief, ran before a storm to the coast of Cyprus. The holy woman dreamt that a young man instructed her to buy many churches on the island. On waking, she discovered the cross of the penitent thief had miraculously transformed itself and transported itself to the top of the mountain. So she built the Stavrouni Vunu church, and it was to house it. The monastery contains a huge wooden 15th century cross, minutely carved with scenes from the life of Christ. It is encased in a silvery item that also contains what is believed to be a silver of the true cross. Stavrouni is a working religious community of monks who follow the principles of Mount Athos. Although women are not allowed to enter, the views from the monastery are spectacular. So you can at least go and see those views. Let's just check the comments out. We have Glitterworld saying, wow, amazing. Thank you so much. So great to see you guys all here. Thank you so much for dropping in. So let's go on to our next theme straight away. I still want to keep showing you I used to hold up the round circles to show you what the next theme is, but now I've got them in my little interludes I like to make. And I've still used them because I put them on top of whatever I'm going to do next. And on the back, I've written what number interlude to play, but I want to keep holding them up to you. Okay, so let's go on to the next interlude clip to show you what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so this is my tips and hacks, and we have talked before about different ways of cleaning glass, and I got some good comments on that. So I thought I would do some more glass cleaning tips for you. So I have 4 for you today. And the first one is rinse crystal glass in a weak solution of vinegar to make it sparkle. Use a plastic bowl to avoid chipping precious crystal. And the next tip, add some sugar to warm water when washing flower glasses or vases that have become dull. That's a great tip there. And the next tip, use a little fabric conditioner in warm water to clean glass-topped tables, TV screens, or any lids, then rub dry. This prevents dust settling on the surface. So if you have any of those type of surfaces, maybe even your laptop screen, any screens or devices where that dust always seems to settle, then use some fabric softener in warm water to clean, and then that detracts the dust. And the last one, after washing walls or start again, I try and get my vowels in the right places. After washing walls or glass doors, wipe with a cloth sprinkled with vinegar to remove the soap film. Polish with a dry cloth. So they're my 4 tips for today, and the comments are coming in thick and fast today. Thank you so much for that. That's really great when you add a little comment now and then. That really makes me appreciate you being here all the more. And we've got to say hello to Hanging with Mr. J. a big hello to you. Thank you for being here. And let's jump straight into the next topic segment of today. They are supposed to give me a second to get my thoughts in order, and that one was good. I'm ready. So at the moment, we're looking through my book of Aesop's Fables, and they're good for little positive quotes and little circumstance quotes for your life. And these are very short versions, which are great, so we get straight to the point. This one is called The Fox and the Wild Boar. A fox was out for a walk one day when he came across a wild boar sharpening his tusk against the trunk of a tree. "Why on earth are you doing that?" asked the fox. "There's nothing to fear here. There's no danger anywhere around us. There is no huntsman in sight." "Which is why I'm doing it now," said the boar. "When there is danger around me, I won't have time to stop and sharpen my tusk." And of course, we all know the moral to that one, don't we? Be prepared. Okay, so before we continue with the next segment, I want to remind you of my discount code that is in the description below. So if you're watching this live, I think you have to wait till the live's finished before the code comes up, and it's for StreamYard. Little tip for you: if you want to start paying for anything on StreamYard, then that's the way to go. Let's move on to our next segment of today's topics and themes. Okay, so I have two for you. Now, these are from my after dinner speech antidotes. So little fun segment here for you. And this first one says, "A friend suffered from his wife's belief that he had taste. So when he arrived home from work, she had a maddening habit of asking him to come shopping with her. 'Just your time, darling,' and look at dresses, chinaware, umbrellas, and all the rest. One evening he arrived back from the office very tired, but sure enough, she said, 'Oh, something I do so want you to help me choose, darling.' So off they went. She was after some underwear, very expensive underwear, he noted wearily, and she examined the goods. Then she said, 'I think this is just me, don't you, darling?' And she held up some satin underwear as shop assistants stood dutifully around. And suddenly inspiration came to him. 'They look lovely, but what would your husband say?' he said. He lived happily ever after, able then to come home, pour himself a drink, put up his feet, relax, and never have to go shopping with her again." I like that. That's probably quite true. Let's have one more. "The concert had been near disastrous, but the mayoral reception looked like being even worse. The woodwind had whined, the strings had screeched, the brass had brayed. In the concerto, try as he might, the maestro had not been able to coax the city orchestra to play at the same tempo as the soloist. At one point, he had hissed the latter. "Don't look now, but I think we're being followed." And now he was faced by the boring mayor, fluting around culture and beneficiaries and enthusing about the performance. Eventually, the question had to come. "And when was the last time you conducted our orchestra?" he said. The maestro drew himself up to his full height and said, "I think tonight." And that's so true, definitely. Okay, moving on swiftly to our next section for today. Let me know what topics you like. So on to our gardening, and this is from, I've read many times from these before, Mike's 1970s little gardening booklets that his mum collected. And today I'm going to be reading you things to do in the second week of October in your garden. And the writer says, "Two rather unusual root vegetables, which always find a place in my garden when the seed merchants have seed to offer, are salsify and scorzona, sometimes called black salsify. It's rather surprising that they are not more widely cultivated, for they are easy enough to grow and make a tasty dish. Both are members of the same family. The roots of both should now be ready for use and can be lifted as required. Some gardeners store them in boxes of sandy compost in cool, well-ventilated shed, but I have never found this really necessary. I dig them as I need them right through the winter, leaving a few salsify plants for their delicious spring foliage next April. Indeed, they are better used quickly after lifting, for the roots are deep and you're almost sure to damage some of them. Then, like dandelions, they bleed. Salsify is the more attractive vegetable of the two, although when well cooked, both have the quality of melting in the mouth and having a pleasant flavour. But preparing it for the table can be a nightmare for all but the most dedicated cook. The roots, which are long, slender and coated in a hard black skin, have to be boiled first and then peeled while they're piping hot, not an easy task. Alternatively, the skin can be squeezed off. Salsify are much more straightforward. The roots taper like parsnips, which they resemble except in size, and are cooked in the same way. The first crops of celery are distinct from the self-blanching varieties and should now be ready, but leave celeriac a little longer as the roots will still be growing vigorously. When asparagus foliage begins to turn colour, it soon will, it is time to cut it down. Trim almost to soil level, don't ever cut right by the crown, and clear away any weeds at the same time. Fork over the bed lightly, being careful not to dig too close to the roots. Then cover the whole bed with a mulch of well-rotted farmyard manure, garden compost, or ideally seaweed. Asparagus revels in a dressing of seaweed, so if you live near the coast, make the most of your good fortune. Also now cut down the stems of globe artichokes and remove any dead leaves, and similarly clean up the Jerusalem artichokes once the weeds start to wither. In the fruit garden, with only 2 to 3 weeks to the start of the autumn planting season, now is the time to prepare for planting. Because fruit crops generally occupy the ground for a number of years, The opportunity to improve the land is very limited. Therefore, the ground should be well prepared in advance. Dig out completely any deep-rooted weeds like dock, nettles, thistles. Manure should be dug in and the soil tested for acidity and nutrient content, and any deficiencies of lime and fertilizers corrected. It's advisable to give the ground time to settle before planting. Jobs for in the greenhouse. Include some herbs among the items you take into the greenhouse for winter, as they more than pay for the small amount of space they will occupy. In addition to thyme, parsley and sage, I make a point of including several pots of chives lifted from the open garden. Outdoors, the plants may die down in winter, but under glass or indoors, they can be persuaded to continue to produce foliage, and a few leaves of chives make all the difference to a winter salad. Another useful herb is savoury. These are both summer and winter varieties, but for greenhouse use, try some of savoury, which has better flavour, sown sometime this month. So there's some things for you to do in the garden for this month. This is for week 2. You should be doing these things now. Let's move on to our next section of the day. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what's been posted on my channels, and the first thing we're going to look up today is my other channel, which is now running on the ticker below, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And it's more important than ever, if you go on that channel, to actually look at the playlist, because I call that channel a variety channel, something for everyone. So you may well not want everything that's on that channel, so do go on the playlist to find the sort of things you're looking for. So what's been posted recently on that channel? Today I posted finally my cross stitch project when I was doing my cross stitch of a garden scene, and I've actually posted that from start to finish, so you can see how I began the project and all the way through to completion and framing. So that's something to look there. That one's just been posted today. And then the video prior to that, that was my last video up, was Dawn's Diary. What is Dawn's Diary, you ask yourself? Well, this was episode 5, and again it has its own playlist, so if you like the format of that, then do go ahead and look at the whole playlist. I did actually put under that video episodes 1, 2, 3 and 4, so you can easily find them there first if you prefer. And that is basically a little bit like this channel where we do lots of short themes, but that is a short week. So I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, little headings and very short clips of things I have done in the week, and they're mixed up. They're not all gardening or all where I've been, or very short interlude pieces, very short clips, and they vary completely. They might be something I've done in the kitchen. Let's see what number 5 was to see if we can give you a clue on that, or I'll have to get my list out so I could give you some idea of what sort of things have been in the previous episodes. So episode 5 that was just posted, Monday is about my swimming pool, something that we've been doing with that. Tuesday was more fire helicopters. Wednesday, I found some more gecko eggs. Thursday, I show you some of the sky trails. Friday was a shout out for some of my YouTube friends, so do have a look at that, see if you're there or not. Saturday was a bird in my garden, and you'll have to go along there to see what it was. And Sunday was, of course, a chill out day. So it was me relaxing in my pool, in my swimming pool. So do go along and have a look at Dawn's Starry on my other channel and see what goes on during my week. And we have Sharon Rowland in the house. She doesn't have a channel, but we're still going to give her something. We normally do go and check out the channel. She doesn't have a channel, so let's give her a clap. See, even if you don't have a channel, when you come on, you get something. So something for you all. So let's take a look at what's just been posted on this channel. I just posted today another shopping haul, and of course you'll have to go on to see what I got. And also you may have well seen a video I put up recently of a paradox. It's called a museum. I wouldn't call it a museum, but it's called a paradox museum. It's a place where you can interact with illusions. If you haven't seen that, go and check that out. It's a real fun place. I am putting a few little shorts up from there as well, but you've got to see the whole video. So in this shopping haul, I also show you what I bought when I was at this paradox museum, something I bought. And there's also an update that I went to it's like a local dump, but it's a recycling centre. You can go there to drop off literally everything, batteries and all the things you can't throw away, you can take there. And also anything else that is recyclable, and then you're allowed to take anything from it completely free of charge. So I've showed you a few times little clips there. If people are there, I don't like to film it all, but I've got a little bit more film footage there, and I tell you what else I got from there this time, because I do like to keep going there and seeing what I can find. Sharon says, I'm okay. Oh, Glitterwell says, happy Thanksgiving. Yes, obviously in Cyprus we don't have Thanksgiving, but she's saying to everybody, happy Thanksgiving. I've only just realised this week that people in Canada have Thanksgiving a different day to people in America, because obviously it's not the same Thanksgiving. We don't have it at all in Cyprus. So that's always interesting to know. Yes, it's different reasons of the Thanksgiving of Canada and the Thanksgiving of America, but I'm sure you guys know that. And then the video prior to the one I've just posted, I have actually done a video that specifically tells you all my live times, because I know they pop up at random times. You will see what my set days and times are and what day the pop-ups are and what those pop-ups actually are about, because each of my lives are completely different things. That's again something for everyone. If you like this style of lives, that's great. If you just like chit chat, then that's on Wednesdays on this channel and Fridays on my other channel, but all the other lives are themed in completely different ways. So for example, my other channel on Tuesdays is tours, and that can be of all sorts of things, anything that I show you as a tour. So there's that to look forward to as well. So moving on to my next theme of the day, we have this. Oh, Glitter World's just popped up grateful. It's just popped up grateful. I'm not sure what that little star is. I've just pressed a star next to your comment. I'm not actually sure what it is. Oh, I could do other things now. Okay, there's Glitter World saying grateful. I'm not sure what the star is by the side of your name. There's lots of new things on StreamYard now, so I'm just playing around with things. Of course, you could always put the comments up. I know that. There's other things as well. Okay, so we're talking about blast from the past. What is blast from the past? If you're new to this channel, it's anything in the past. It can be very way in the past, or it can be my past, which I know a lot of you find very interesting. But you will know I love the 70s. You're a superstar. Did it do anything to you, Shirley? I'm going to press it again. Tell me if it does anything. Does that do anything to you, Shirley? Do you see anything from your side? It's just highlighted a star. There's an empty star and I press it and now it's a dark star. It doesn't give me any indication as to what that is. Okay, so you know I love the 70s. I was born in the 60s, but I obviously grew up in the 70s, and I loved games. I always asked for games, board games for my birthdays and for Christmas, and it's quite handy because my birthday is the 6th of December, so obviously once you're off school for Christmas or whatever, I had a game to play leading up to Christmas as well, so that was great fun. And this is one of my games. I did get rid of a lot of games when I moved to Cyprus, but I kept my absolute favourite ones. Does anyone know this game? Hide and Thief. And when I was little, I used to call it Hidden Thief. But it's Hide and Thief. Surprising game of hide and seek. I still have it. I'm going to see actually if there's a date on it. There would be a date somewhere. Made in England. There must be a date on it. I'll have to look. And what I love most is now the graphics and the fact pictures on games boxes really date the games. Look at that. Isn't that dated? So what is this game? Ooh, unboxing. This is how it is inside. Now you can see houses, little things. I'll show you what the little things are in a minute. Trucks, dice, and of course the same on the other colours. Ooh. I love games that you can do things with as well. I'll show you what the little things are in a minute. This is the board. I'll show it distant and then I'll show it near so you can see it better. Look, there's a bank in the middle of the screen. There's police. Oh, look, it's American. Look, it looks like almost an American flag. Look. And then you have robbers and police. And can you see the colour squares? Now, the colour squares are where you put houses of that colour. So you set the board up first. And you've got to start at each corner for each colour. Okay. And then the middle, oh, well, I'll explain it better. So you have to trust people in this game. And what you do is you hide the colours. Let me get the little bits out. Inside the little bits are 2 money bags and 1, I think that's like the police, I think, if I remember rightly. I haven't looked at this since until I opened it today. And then what you do is you look away and people hide. So the red hides the red, I think it is, or the green hides the green. Anyway, you hide them, but obviously you don't hide under your own colour house, or yes, or not under your own colour. I forget which way round it is. And then you go round the board, and when you land on a square where there's here. So a greenhouse would be on here. You can look under it, but you must land exactly on it. And it says when you get to the middle, you can only look under one. So you couldn't look under all four. You'd have to throw the dice, move on again, and then come back. I don't know if you can move backwards or what, I can't remember. And obviously, you could, if you get the gravestone, that's not good. So let's see what happens then. This is what I like about this game as well. Look, that's all the rules. I don't like games with tons and tons of rules. The object: to find only 2 money bags, place them in your lorry, and then drive and deposit them in the bank without being robbed. Ooh. Before playing, I should have just read you this. Before playing, each player chooses a colour, and it's written in English, the word colour, because it's made in England. Nice. Each player chooses a colour and places his houses over his own colour square on the board. Next, he puts his lorry in his start corner. Each player hides his money bags and his thief under any 3 different colour houses of his own colour, while others cover their eyes. Right, that's the way. So you don't look under your own house, and then when someone else hides, they're obviously not going to hide under that colour and find things. That makes sense now. Each player rolls a dice and the highest number plays first. Play then moves to the left. Players move their lorries the number of spaces indicated on either dice or the total number on both dice. If, for example, a 3 and a 5 are rolled, player may move 3 spaces, 5 spaces, or add them together, 8 spaces. You may move forward, backwards, or pass through any start square any time. You may pass or land beside an opponent's lorry. Players hunt for money bags hidden under their opponent's colours' houses. To look under a house, you must land in front of it exactly. You may not look under a house if you're merely passing by. If you find nothing, replace the house and continue searching on your next turn. At cul-de-sacs, you must run the exact number to look under a house. If you find a money bag, put it in your lorry, obviously. After you have found 2 money bags, then you head for the bank. You must only use 1 dice to get into the bank, and you must roll the exact number to put you in there. On your trip to the bank, you must always still look under any opponent's house when you land in front of it. If you find a 3rd money bag, return it to the owner to re-hide. So no memory test here, remembering where all the bags are. So in a way, you do want to land on them. Then you can put them under one where things have been found, but you may find a thief. Anytime you find an opponent's thief, you are robbed and must go back to your start. If your lorry contains 1 or 2 money bags, they are returned to the owners to hide again. If your lorry is empty, you must still go back to start. After being robbed, you must let the player who owns the thief re-hide him. Remember, money bags are always returned to the owners for re-hiding, no matter whose thief captures them. Special note for 2 players. Each player uses 10 houses, 5 red and 5 yellow, against 5 blue and 5 green. Only use 2 money bags, 1 lorry and 1 thief each. And I found the date, copyright date, 1965. So I'd say I was 1 year old when that was copyrighted, but I was born in December 1964. So I always think, although I was born in 64, it was almost 65. And then it's got other games now available from this company. Let's see if you know any of these. Plum Crazy, no. Swoop, no. Clown Around, no. Track and Trap, no. Silly Carnival, no. Funny Face, no. Hey Hey Witch Way, and that's witch as in Halloween type witch, no. Big Umbrella Game, no. Funny Fuzzies, no. So Many Animals, as in Stitch, so. and that is by Whitman Publishing, Tariff Road, Tottenham, London, North 17. And there's no reason, if you've got children or grandchildren, you couldn't make that game, is there? There's no reason at all you couldn't make that game. I'm sure you can find things you could use or adapt it. Don't even have houses. You could have anything. You could even play with cups, upside down dessert cups. That would be a great thing for older grandchildren to actually make the game, and then you play it with them when it's all made. So that's something for you grandparents out there to think about. I've read you the rules now. If you want to keep the rules, you can just record my voice reading the rules. So that's something for you to think about there. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. As I say, do let me know what topics you particularly like. Is there another topic you would like me to cover that perhaps I haven't thought of yet? Because that'll give me an excuse to make a little interlude piece, because I so love making those little interlude pieces. Yes, I love making those. If you want me to make anything for you for a very small thank you donation, I'll be very happy to do that for you as well. I love to do that sort of thing. So I'm going to finish with my quotes. I did actually sit and try and put everything down, a bit of paper, so I can find things easily. It doesn't always work. Depends where I am at the time. But I'm a little bit more organised. If anyone does StreamYard and you don't know, if you make these little bits that you keep up the side, you can shuffle them. You might not be aware of it, or you might not have the need to do that. But if you make them, they always load at the bottom. You can move them. So that might be a very helpful tip to some of you, because I didn't realise at first you could. And then I just like double click by mistake. You just click on it, hold and move it, and it will move up. So that's something there for you. Okay, so I'm going to finish there because I do so many lives a week. I do have to watch my time a little bit. So again, I thank you all for being here. I'm going to finish with a quote and then my outro, and I hope to see you. I've got my treatment tomorrow, so I will be back to do it, but I don't know what time, hence why I do a lot of pop-ups. But that is on my other channel, my Tuesday tour and chat on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. So make sure you've hit the notification bell. I think you have to subscribe first in order to do that, and then you'll see when I begin it. Hence why I do a countdown at the beginning. So if you see me pop up, you've not missed the beginning. So thanks for your support, and I'll see you next time.